when you're working with these flare nut fittings, just kind of I'm sure most people already know this, just kind of a friendly piece of advice, but use the right tools. And I use flare nut wrenches, open-end flare nut wrenches. Somebody before I got the car had already kind of a little bit rounded them out. I had to straighten them out with a file, but these you have to be really careful with these flare nuts. And even that you can bend them sideways, and then you can mess up your flares on the end. Yeah, but this is a sun shining on straight down on it, so this is a JEGS 0 to 30 psi fuel pressure. It's filled with fluid to keep it from vibrating around. I went a little overboard, put a couple of C-clamps on. Like I say, I went to the bubble flare on this tubing. See, I cut it about right here, and I cut this one, angled it at 45 and cut it about right here. And then I had enough room to put my hose and my hose clamps in there, and my inline barbed fitting. This is a 3/8 inch inline barbed fitting that fits this fuel gauge. You can get all of this stuff from JEGS or Summit Racing. This is my original crossover tube, a 3/8 inch crossover tube. It was in the car when I got it. I would imagine it's probably the original one, but I didn't do anything with this. All I did was take this out, and I started working on fabricating a new one. But this one will go back in the car. This is what I used to drive the car. These are just test apparatus. But I purchased some 3/8 inch fuel line down at the auto parts store. Already flared out. Already had the 5/8 inch fittings on both ends. Then I cut out what I needed, and I bent it. You'd need a pipe or a tube bender. But on the hose, this is Gates 3/8 inch fuel line hose. It goes by the brand name Barricade fuel injection hose. I thought it was pretty good stuff. And as far as the fuel line goes, I had ordered a while back another crossover tube that I used. What I did was I just cut out. This is a inline fuel Schrader valve that I ordered from Summit Racing. All you need to do is just cut out. I think it was probably, you can measure it, how far the 3/8 inch tube goes up inside of the inline fitting. This is a compression fitting, and just cut out about, I think it was about a ½ inch or something. Then you just tighten that down. It works really well, no leaks or anything. Like I say, I don't drive with this. It's just for testing. And then the other one, I just shaped two ends, pretty much like one end coming out of this rear throttle body, and I bent the other end coming out the front throttle body to about right here. That left from about here to over here, somewhere in here, cut out. But you need to, leave enough so you can get your clamps on there. And what I did was I flared out the ends to just where it bubbled out. I didn't do the entire flare like on the end, just to where it bubbled out. And then that gives you a little more secure, tighter fit on the for your when you put your hose clamps on. But again, I did not flare the ends of the tube out to the full flare, 45-degree flare. I only went with the first step on the bubble flare, the fitting. That's enough so that when I put the hose over the end, it gets a little bit more secure. Now this is a rigid flaring tool. When you first turn the key on, just the on position, not running, just turn the key on, the electronic control module signals the fuel pump relay. This is right here between the map sensor and the windshield wiper motor, to turn on the fuel pump to prime the system with fuel. And what happens is you'll see the fuel gauge will go up to 11-12 psi until the system's primed, and then the gauge will drop back down to 0 until you start cranking the engine. But you'll see the fuel pressure go up to 11 or 12 psi, whatever your system's running. Then it'll drop all the way back down to 0 after the system's primed. After that, it'll wait. The ECM will wait until the engine starts cranking or the engine starts running. It sees some activity from the HEI distributor. Then the pressure will go back up to its operating pressure. It should be running about 12 psi. It's about between 9 and 13 psi. It's running right at 12 psi.